the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
Hi. Well, that was quick. You cut off my intro.
I didn't do that. The machine did.
Welcome to Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. I am your host, Aaron Phillips, because that's what the title on the show says right above my head right there. Thank you for tuning in, whether you're watching me on Facebook. You know you have two choices, actually three, Aaron's Hour, The Voice, WWDBTV, and of course you can check out those same channels on YouTube. But when you get to YouTube, whether it's a WWDBTV channel, whether it's my channel for Aaron's Hour Show, make sure you click that live button because that's the only way you're going to see the show, whether it's live or even if you want to catch it later on, you still have to click the live button because my shows are housed under the live tab, not the regular landing pages. If you're driving around town like East Coast right now, well, it's about 3 in the afternoon. So if you're running around picking up the kids from soccer, going to soccer, you're going shopping, whatever it is, make sure you download the WWDBTV mobile app for your Android, WWDBTV LV for your iPhone products. Of course, if you want to call in and join the show in conversation, 702-992-3207 is the number here, of course, in the studio. Now, if you have Roku, which if you don't have Roku, God only knows why you don't have it yet. It is only one of the premier streaming services available in media today. Make sure you download the WWDBTV network to Roku because in about 72 hours, not only this show, but all the Aaron's Hour shows are available there. But the multitudinal, plethoric level of amounts of shows that you can watch on the network are there as well. John, did I mash up those words good enough this time?
Not bad.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very little. Jennifer out in Hawaii, thank you so much as always for jumping in the chat room, saying hello. Jennifer, I don't remember the dates that you plan on coming up to Vegas this month. I know you mentioned you were coming up. So just you can either private message me or you can just put it in the chat room. So this way, so that everybody knows that Jennifer is coming to Las Vegas. And we can have a whole party because Jennifer is going to be here in Vegas with us. Visible on the screen right now, you see right in front of me right there. Eventually, I'm going to get this stuff right. My UNLV hat. Why? Because, of course, the majority of the world probably knows what happened here at UNLV earlier this week. Another shooting incident, and I want to send out our thoughts and prayers to everybody affected by the incident at UNLV. Of course, we're using hashtag UNLV Strong. So this is my way of honoring and keeping those folks in our hearts for what has gone on there at UNLV. And then, of course, the other news this past week, actually one that happened yesterday and earlier, the great TV producer, writer, director, Norman Lear, at the young age of 101, passed away this past week. We want to send our condolences to his family. As a matter of fact, his son-in-law is the chief medical correspondent on CBS News. And he was interviewed earlier today by Gladys Knight. Not Gladys Knight. John mentioned the Pips during the wrestling show, and I totally had that in my head. But Gayle King, that's who it was, earlier today or yesterday. And they said that they were surrounding Norman as he passed away peacefully, that the entire family started breaking out into the theme songs of all of his shows. All in the Family, of course. I think just about anybody probably knows most of the words to that song. But when they did the Jefferson song, and they were talking about moving up to the east side, moving up to a deluxe apartment in the sky, that's when his son-in-law kind of broke down a little bit because obviously Norman Lear truly did move up to a deluxe apartment in the sky. He will be missed, but his legacy will never be forgotten. If you want to call in with your thoughts, I'd love to know what your favorite Norman Lear show was over the years. Could be from the very beginning. If you don't know his shows, I encourage you to open up another tab. Do not close this tab, but look up Norman Lear, and you'll be able to see his shows that he is most recognized with and for. And I'd love to get your input. Mine, well, I'll share mine again. I shared it earlier this morning on Thoughts Count Anywhere. But the interesting thing is the main show that really people come to mind with is All in the Family. And there are so many sequels or different shows that were an offshoot of that just about every show we can think of really stemmed from additional shows that came off of All in the Family. So we'll talk about that as it goes. Now, another entertainer who passed away, this broke yesterday. I know him as Farrah Fawcett's ex-husband, but the great actor Ryan O'Neal, he was star of Love Story and Peyton Place. He passed away at the age of 82. Patrick O'Neal, his son, wrote this on Friday, quote, "My dad passed away peacefully today with his loving team by his side, supporting him and loving him as he would want us to." So again, now this is the time of year when we start. And John, maybe we can find this in the news for next week's show. But we have all those, at the end of the year slides that people put out of entertainers and sports and important. Not this is really gonna. I have to say this carefully. And John's usually good at keeping me on track. Everybody who passed away is important to somebody.
Right.
But those in the public eye, so I'm trying to say this politically correct. Those in the public eye, there's always those memorial, like all the news runs those memorial clips and videos of those who passed away. So perhaps for next week's show, which by the way, will be my last show of 2023, because I'm going to go dark the last 2 weeks and enjoy the rest of that gives John a couple of weeks off. That is my 2 weeks to recharge my battery. And after doing this for over 18 and a half years, I'll take every break that I can get. So next week will be the last show of the year for me. And I have a great guest lined up. Casudano, her and daughter were on during Halloween. Those are the Wiccan ladies who joined me. They actually have some things to talk about regarding Christmas and the holiday season, which I thought would be interesting to end up. Anyway, I'm digressing, as I usually tend to do all over the place. But as we're talking about Norman Lear, before I get to a couple of news items here in town, I do want to also send out a congratulations to Foothills High School Marching Band. They were out in Hawaii this past week as part of the Pearl Harbor parades that is done obviously every year to honor those who lost their lives and family members who were around on December 7th. And what was it, 41? Is that the year, John? 1941?
What are you asking me? Because you think I was there?
No, because you're old enough to at least know. I didn't say you were there.
Yeah,
I certainly
I
wasn't.
remember.
It was 23 years before I was even a twinkle. I don't even think my mom and dad were barely walking at the time at themselves. But anyway, I did visit there back in 2009. And Jennifer, I wish I'd known you then. I would have certainly stopped in. But I was back there with the show that I was doing at the time. And we were there for the Pro Bowl and had an opportunity to tour the Pearl Harbor Memorial. And it is, I want to say it's an eerie feeling for all the right reasons and for all the wrong reasons. If you've never been there, you really should add that to your bucket list as something to see, because it is an experience to behold. The history of the war really is right there in Pearl Harbor for all to see and observe and to be part of. It's a very moving experience. Now, I want to go back to Norman Lear, because there was an article that came out of what was put together by I want to say Collider, Collider. I'm sorry, I know I'm botching that, and it was written by Kareem Gant about Norman Lear's top 10 TV shows, movie shows, things like that. So number 10 on the list, which I had no idea, was a show called The Deputy. Do you remember The Deputy from 1959 to 61, John?
Of course.
Do you really? Or are you just patronizing? Or is it patronizing?
Dude, I'm a TV and movie guy.
That's
man.
true. I forgot who I'm.
all of those.
All right. So,
I give it.
who was one of the great? Who was one of the stars? One of the greatest movie stars ever in that show? Do you remember?
Wasn't Robert Redford?
No.
And
He had a daughter that was involved with a TV mogul down in Georgia.
The Devil. Oh no, that was a violin player.
No. How about Henry Fonda was in that show?
Oh yeah.
That's right. So that was number 10. Number 9 was the Baxters. And I totally forgot the Baxters was part of his show. And and it would be stupid for me to do this because I know you can't really see it, but the opening credits, most of his shows, the font of the name of the show was always pretty much the same. The Baxters, just like All in the Family. And I totally forgot the Baxters was actually a show that was out of his tutelage. The next one, how can you forget? Schneider and Company, One Day at a Time. Right, Valerie Bertinelli, was really making the big time there, getting into TV there. So yeah, that was a great show. I loved that show. He was pretty cool. Valerie Bertinelli, Pat Harrington Jr. That was Schneider. Howard Hesseman was even in that. It was a great show. How about this one? Didn't know this one. All's Fair, 1976 to 77.
I remember the title. I don't remember the show.
It was a show that was Premiered on CBS in 76, follows a conservative newspaper columnist who falls in love with a young liberal photographer. And this came out right after all the Watergate stuff came out. So he was trying to tap into that. Number 6 was the aforementioned, we talked about this, Maude, one of the offshoots, again, of the original All in the Family, because from All in the Family had the Jeffersons, and then, which of course was George and Wheezy. And then off of there, you had not Maude. Maude went off the other side because she was friends with Edith. On Jefferson, what's her name? Why am I blanking on her name? The lady who was the housekeeper on the Jeffersons. She also had her own show for a short time. I could see. Okay, that's it. Yes, thank you. I could see faces, but I can't always remember names. But she had an offshoot of the show as well. So B. Arthur and Company was actually today, I think, has got a renaissance of a show. When you think about, I see that show on like all the Me TV shows and all the older TV series shows. Good Times, of course, was number 5. One word is all you needed to be successful on that show. With J.J. Walker, of course, and great actors on that. That was an offshoot of the Jeffersons as well, I thought, because, or no, not the Jeffersons, All in the Family, because Flo was the housekeeper or some connection there. There's a guest in the studio who's acknowledging my lack of knowledge or helping me confirm whether I'm on the right track or not. He's a Packers fan. I'll look past that as a Giants fan, but he's helping me, and I appreciate that, sir. Number 4, Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. How about that one? My goodness, from 76 to 77. Then let's see, 70. How about Sanford and Son was number 3? How about that one? That was another good show. 72 to 77. One of the most famous lines out of that show, of course, but the great Red Fox. Elizabeth, the big one, Elizabeth, I'm coming. I mean, they're just classic lines that come out of these shows of Norman Lear. Then we had number 2, of course, the aforementioned Jeffersons. And then, of course, starting really the chain really for Norman Lear back in the 70s was, of course, All in the Family, 71 to 79. We talk about these shows, and it's like I mentioned, his son-in-law, they surrounded Norman Lear, and actually the family broke out into song of all of the theme songs. And to me, the one that's along with the Jeffersons, but how do you not know the All in the Family theme song? Boy, the way Glenn Miller played songs that made. I'm never going to try to get that high without 20 dogs. My guest is already laughing at me. Former Rockettes in the studio, by the way, and she's laughing at me. That's okay.
There are no former Rockettes.
Is that true?
Rockette, always a Rockette.
Like a Marine?
Like a Marine.
I don't know, but never mind. I'd rather keep focused on the Rockette than the Marine that I have here in the studio. All right, a couple of quick news and notes here, and then I also have a list of Christmas movies or the holiday movie list. I'm going to go over that later. If you're into college, last night they gave away college football awards. I got a whole slew of lists. We'll leave that towards the end. But here in town, free candy cane theme walkthrough event returns to a Henderson home. That's right. For the 4th year, Henderson residents Victor's Cardenas and Joey Cardona will open their home to the public to present a candy cane themed walk-through event to help benefit local charities. Let's see. They strongly encourage donations to benefit Hope Link of Southern Nevada, and the organization's mission is to prevent homelessness, preserve families, and provide hope. As part of the experience, the couple says the Candy Cane House features over 80 decorated Christmas trees, 60,000 lights throughout the residence, free treats and hot chocolate, and numerous photo opportunities and a partridge in a pear tree. Now, the schedule of events for this, I believe it is free to the public. It's located at 366 South Milan Street, Milan in Henderson. The schedule, December 1st through December 3rd. Well, that was last week, so it doesn't matter. This week, December 8th through tomorrow. So today and tomorrow, from 6 to 9 p.m. All times are 6 to 9 p.m. December 15th through 17th and December 22nd through 23rd, 6 to 9 p.m. That's that piece of news. Las Vegas Eatery unveils Nightmare Before Christmas theme for holiday season. Let's see. A popular Las Vegas restaurant will once again transform into Nightmare Before Christmas. According to a news release, Sandy Claus has returned to Mas Por Favor Tequila and Tequila, the taco parlor and speakeasy in Chinatown. Nothing like a Jew trying to say those names, huh? Anyway, as part of the experience through December, I got Miss Rockette. She almost fell off her chair on that one. So, Does she know what she, listen,
Wait. So you have a Jew talking about a Mexican restaurant in Chinatown.
you can't make this stuff up.
So are you going to hit both of them on Christmas?
No, you know what Jews do on Christmas? You know, seriously, you know what Jews do, yeah?
Yeah, they go to Chinese restaurants.
And a movie.
Yeah.
Because nothing else is open on Christmas Day for us.
Yeah.
So we get our movie and Chinese food in. It's a great day because there's nothing else to do.
Have you ever seen
I want to know, did you,
Have you ever seen an advertisement for a Chinese restaurant on television?
No.
I haven't either.
Because it's all word of mouth.
What's up with that?
By the way, when
don't you have a show to do?
I'm sorry, we're discussing. By the way, when MarQue spoke to you about an hour ago, did you fully tell her what she's in for in this show? Otherwise, she wouldn't have been here. She wouldn't have been here. I know. I just hope she's smiling on the way out like she did when she came in.
She knows me, so she should have some idea.
Oh, yeah, and I've known you longer than she probably. Oh my God, God help you, Miss MarQue, for putting up with this shenanigans around here.
Hey, are you going to unwrap any winners this week?
I have no winners, but you know what? Because you were busy helping our guests get in here, I went right into it.
Good.
So this segment was called Vegas 2.0. Hit it.
With a nod to the past and an eye to the future, here is Aaron Phillips with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
The only reason he brought me back after that intro is to tell you we're going to go to a break. When we come back on the other side, my guest, MarQue Munday, is going to join me. She's got so much to talk about. I'm not even going to let you know. We'll be right back. Most business owners struggle with the following issue. How do I brand my business to get noticed? Double 8 Design Studio helps businesses by designing brands that boost confidence, look and feel timeless, stand out from the competition, and attract all the right clients. Whether you are in need of a new brand, upgraded design elements, or completely redesign your current brand, Double 8 Design Studio has fully customized packages for your business. Call Chelsea McKendrick at 702-525-3334 and visit www.double8designstudio.com. Let Double 8 Design Studio give you a brand new outlook for your business.
You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've got to have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
Good, because I just banged my knee on the damn table underneath there. Holy cow. Why is that so painful to do that? Anyway, welcome back to Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. That's right. My name is Aaron Phillips, because otherwise this show would be totally ridiculous in terms of the title, because if I'm not Aaron Phillips, I'd have to change the title. That's right. I said it. All right. Joining me at this time, which I know my guest to my right will certainly pick up the level of performance on the show, because after that first segment, that's right, brought some class around here. This is another show of what we call the Beauty and the Beast. That's right. I said it. Miss MarQue Munday joins me. You can tell she's important. She's got a big crown and everything on. We'll get to all of that. Thank you for coming in. Pleasure to meet you. Literally, we met 30 seconds ago, folks, because things worked out, and things worked out to bring you here because she does have a lot of stuff to talk about. You're involved in a pageant that has some great stuff. You're involved in another organization that, I mean, I love guests that bring important stuff to the community.
Oh, thank you.
That's why I do what I do for all these years, because you know what? Those big buildings that line the 5 miles of the boulevard, they get enough coverage. I mean, don't get me wrong, Caesars, if you want to call me and sponsor my show, I'll talk to you. Don't, but you know, the smaller organizations that really don't get as much press, enough media coverage, enough, hey, do you know about this group? Those are the folks I've always focused on in over 18 years.
Oh, wonderful.
And I thank you for the opportunity. And I also used to host beauty pageants back in the day, which, by the way, if you need one, I'm available. I can shine up and look pretty good.
Yay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So let me know.
Yes,
Just as
will
long as you
do.
feed me, I'm cheap. Oh, yeah, let's turn this and get this set up. There we go. Is that good there, Mr. Producer? I do not want it in her face either because she's very good looking here. I'm not saying that because she's next to me. She can kick me, but I tell the truth on the show. That's right. Anyway,
Since when?
well, I've got royalty here. I mean, look, she's even dressed in purple. Purple is a royal color, is it not?
Yes,
See?
yes, it is.
I know that because my wife keeps telling me that she's royalty and always wears purple. That's right. Anyway,
Just
she
gotta
is.
give it a crown.
Funny thing is, one of the pageants I hosted years ago, one of the queens, we got very friendly with, good friends. And so like the night after, we had an after party and she wore her crown. And so my wife was admiring it because those things, first of all, they're beautiful.
Yes.
They're also very heavy.
Yes.
Right. And although it's not the same weight as a headdress when you're a Rockette,
Right.
which I'll have fun talking about that in a few minutes. But so my wife put it on her head. And so she's standing next to our friend and now I have a picture of that. And she now haunts me as reminding me like every day, remember, I am your queen. So then the silly part was they said for me to try to put it on my head. Of course, it wasn't going to happen. So you see, I've got a picture of me just kind of, it's like sitting on top of this noggin and they're all holding it up sideways so it doesn't fall off my head because I wouldn't want to buy a replacement for that. But let's share with our audience a little bit about yourself, your background, and we'll just kind of lead in from there. So
Great.
Have at it. Let them.
Well, Aaron, thank you so much.
Oh,
thank you.
thank you.
And as you said, we met 30 seconds ago, and I'm loving every second
God.
of it already.
Oh, Lord. John, did
So-
you spike her drink for her to say that or something?
Just,
Yeah.
just the water. Well, my name is MarQue Munday, and I've been in Las Vegas for just under 30 years now. I'm originally from New York, and yes, a Radio City Music
What
Hall
part of New
Rocket.
York?
Staten Island.
I lived in Linden,
Okay.
right over the
Linden, New Jersey.
278. That's right.
Absolutely,
That's right.
absolutely. Since I've been here in Las Vegas, I've had a good run. I am still an entertainer. My background was musical theater.
Okay.
So I work with a group here that's called Radiance.
Okay.
It is a 4-girl group that does the Motown and R&B, tribute to the ladies of Motown and R&B.
Nice.
And they're really good.
Yes,
Unsolicited opinion, of course, from John.
we've been doing that show with Radiance. It's called Songs in the Key of Motown. We
Okay.
tour Australia every year. The group has been together just under 20 years now.
Where do you perform here in town?
The Smith Center.
Oh, really?
The Smith Center. So yes,
Wow,
we've been
very cool.
performing at the Smith Center since its opening.
Wow.
And we are one of the groups that have been performing there the longest of all the groups that come through, which
Okay.
we're very proud of. So thank you very much to
I'm jotting that down because I know that'll be something my wife will want to see.
Myron's Cabaret Jazz.
Yeah. Very cool.
But right now, as you can see, I'm wearing my crown. My title is Classic Universe Woman 2023-24. So I took that
Congratulations.
crown. The pageant system is called Classic Universe.
Okay.
And Linda Samuels is the illustrious director for that.
Okay.
It is a pageant for adult women,
Okay.
women typically over 40, but now they have opened a contemporary group for women over 30. So,
Okay.
ladies, I want to encourage you. Let's get out and support and join a sisterhood of
Mhm.
like-mindedness,
Mhm.
women supporting each other and empowering each other so we can give back. And of course, that leads me to Juneteenth.
Okay. Where can they get information about that pageant to sign up?
ClassicUniverse.org.
Okay.
And please tell them that MarQue Munday, the Classic Universe Woman 2023-24, gave you that information.
Because John is slow on the uptake. Can you give the website again? I saw him grab paper.
ClassicUniverse.org.
ClassicUniverse.org. You got that, John? Watch the replay. You'll get it then too if you need it. So 702-992-3207. If you'd like to call in, say hello to MarQue, ask a question, whatever you'd like. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
Wherever you are, if you're in a different time zone, you have to do the calculations. I can't help you with that. Anyway, I have a friend, a follower from Denmark
Okay.
who jumped in last week. So it's like, I have no idea. It's like yesterday, there, today, or something like that.
Right,
So God
right.
bless her.
Mhm.
So, all right. So let's talk. Go ahead. Let's talk about now the Juneteenth organization that you were about to chat
Well,
about.
About 2 years ago, I went to a Juneteenth celebration. And I
Okay.
thought, oh my gosh, this is obviously my background. I should know more
Can you
about
share
this.
exactly what Juneteenth is? There
So-
may be some people who are not clear.
Juneteenth, June 1865 was when the order was passed by Lincoln
Mhm.
that all enslaved people were free. Now, it was because that was 1863, actually. It took 2 years for this information to go through the South, our Confederate states, to let these plantation owners know, hey, this enough is enough.
It was a military group and part of the army that went in to make the announcement.
Yes, yes. So that was General Granger who
Mhm.
delivered General Order Number 3 into Galveston, Texas.
Okay.
Now, that was in 1865.
Okay.
So it took 2 years for this information to pass through. Of course, many of the enslaved did not read, and so people were not really wanting to give them and show them this information.
Mhm.
Mind you, this did happen in 1865 to now say that all of these enslaved people were free of sorts, so they could continue working at the area that they were in, but now they would be hired hand workers
Okay.
instead of in
Free labor.
right.
Basically.
To put that right, to put it bluntly. We now celebrate Juneteenth each year and try to keep this history going forward so we do have a clear understanding of what was happening in the South and in our country all of these years.
Mhm.
Of course, we move into 1968 with Dr. Martin Luther
Mhm.
King, the I Have a Dream speech,
Right.
and that assassination. But as we're continuing, and I did say 1968 because we
Mhm.
are sitting in 2023 and we are still having a very similar
Mhm.
conversation about freedom and equality for people
Right.
of color, brown people. So brown and black people, as we would say. So the information for Juneteenth, of course, each state does usually have something to celebrate.
Mhm.
There is an organization called the National Juneteenth Observance Foundation,
Okay.
and we are a part of that in Nevada. So the Nevada Juneteenth organization,
Mhm.
and we have what we call our Miss Juneteenth Scholarship Program Pageant, which is for our young ladies ages 14 to 19.
Okay.
In this pageant, we do a recitation piece of the 3 freedom documents.
Okay.
We do gowned, we do talent,
Okay.
and we do a judge's interview. So this pageant really is about them learning their history and
Mhm.
becoming an ambassador
Mhm.
to pass this information along to our younger generation so that it is really clear and
Sure.
we don't repeat some of this
Right.
stuff.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
my introduction to pageantry
Okay.
was that going to this Juneteenth festival a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
And so I got in a pageant myself to understand what pageants are.
Right.
Now, there's a little bit of a difference between our regular beauty pageant and our Juneteenth pageant,
Mhm.
but still a pageant system, still a sisterhood, still women empowering our younger generation so that they too have a sisterhood
Sure.
that they can, and a network that they can come into
Right.
and help them as they go along. We do a scholarship. Obviously, that's for their education.
Mhm.
And so we want to move them along so that they become thriving
Sure.
people of our society.
Now, the scholarship, your age range is 14 and 19. So
That's
you have
correct.
teenagers who are about to graduate high school
That's
a year
correct.
or so.
Yep.
And obviously at an age where people are in at least through their second year, roughly.
Yes.
So those who are involved that win that are still in high school, I presume that money is put into an account ready for them down the line? Or
Yes.
do the parents get it and hold on to it because otherwise it could get used? You
Right.
know.
That money sits in an account and
Okay.
basically a trust.
Okay.
Once they have enrolled in their university or school, or even you could go to culinary school,
Sure,
a
okay.
trade school. Once we
Something
have
to
that,
further their education.
that's correct.
Gotcha.
Something that furthers the education. Once we have that information, then those funds are released directly to their school of
To the
choice.
institute. So it's
Yes,
paid
it's-
direct to the institution.
That's correct. Yes.
Makes perfect sense because if it went to anybody else, it would probably be spent for stuff. Yes, John.
I just heard.
Spit it out, John. It's
Yeah,
okay.
No. I just heard this and I want to commend this pageant because one of the things that you said is that trade schools.
Yes.
And I think that that's important, not only for men, but for women, because
Mm-hmm.
we have pushed the go to college, go to college, go to college. And so many people are burdened by their college loan debt now.
Absolutely.
And the trade schools are just as valuable, if not more so.
Yes.
especially
Cosmetology.
today.
Yes.
So I want to commend you guys for including that in your scholarship thing. I think that's absolutely amazing.
I want to just
Thank you.
dovetail on that for a little bit because of trade schools. He brings that point up, which is interesting. We know over the last X number of years,
Mhm.
and you coming from the East Coast like I'm originally from,
Mhm.
DeVry Institute and all that sort of
Yes.
stuff. There are a lot of these schools that look fabulous, have been around a while, but then all of a sudden you go to a class, the door's locked and you're SOL.
Mm.
For those schools, let me backtrack. When there's a scholarship winner that wants to go to a trade school,
Yes.
Does the organization do due diligence to make sure that trade school is a solid trade school so that money's not being paid that then is wasted for that scholarship winner? Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
And so to that, I would say that's definitely something that we can implement in there.
Okay.
However, I do trust that you're doing your due diligence
Oh, sure.
to find a school that is
Right.
going to be accredited
Right.
for the education that you're seeking.
Right. Well, and it makes perfect sense. You're right. The parents and families should be held accountable for the proper educational
Yes.
place. I agree with that. But after all, it is your organization's money.
Yes.
And you want to make sure it is used appropriately.
Appropriately,
So
yes.
it was just a question that comes up because I worked
Yep.
for one of those colleges not too long ago, about
Okay.
8 years ago. And unbeknownst to all of us working there, we did not know of the issues that the school was having
Mm,
legally and
Yes.
all this stuff. And it's just like, fortunately, I was out on medical leave when they went one day and
Close the door.
closed the
Right.
doors, and all you see are the employees carrying boxes out with all the paperwork.
Right.
So that's why I was just,
Yeah.
we know what happens.
Yep.
And some big names like DeVry back east, and what was the other one? Institute of something, ITT trade school. I mean,
Oh, IT.
it does happen. Right.
Yeah.
It does happen. Okay. But I love the cause. Listen, I've been in community service all my life. I'm a former Key Clubber, which is Kiwanis in high school, Circle K through Kiwanis, et cetera. I'm a believer of supporting our youth
Absolutely.
as much as we can as an additional resource to the support these kids should be getting from their own household.
Absolutely.
So anytime we can add some more positive influence,
Mhm.
I absolutely love it.
Thank
I
you.
absolutely love it because,
Yes.
you know, an individual like yourself, these ladies, gals, regardless of the age division, can look at you as a role model for success,
Let us hope so.
right? I mean, you know,
There's a lot of hard work. People,
Sure,
people
absolutely.
don't realize, and we'll just say this as a staple.
Right.
When we look at in society at it, what we think of as an overnight success,
Right.
they've got 10 years of track record underneath
It's
them.
it's taken
Or
me
more.
18 years to be an overnight success.
There you go. There you go. So
I
it is.
gotcha.
It's not as easy as social media is making it look.
Right. Absolutely. And I absolutely love that. And it's interesting to talk about practice. And one thing that John didn't tell you is that one of the things that I like to do is I like to throw oddball questions out there just
Okay.
to change the gears on you. But before I get into one of those, I want to talk about your Rockette experience because that is something that takes practice.
Yes.
And that's something that I try to instill because I'm a tutor at one of the local elementary schools. So
Okay.
I work with them with their reading and English and all that stuff. They're getting it from a guy from Jersey. It's got an accent. That's funny. But I talk to them. It's like the only way you're going to get better is by practicing these things. So on a weekend, when I'm not with you, read a book. You got to do this or that. I want to just talk about your Rockette experience as a parallel to that. First of all, what was your first inkling into realizing, hey, maybe that's something I could do? Talk about how you got to that point first.
I started dancing when I was 3.
Okay.
My mom felt that I should, as a child, have opportunities and or little activities
Okay,
to keep me
sure.
from just running
Hanging
around.
around saying, Mom,
Right.
Mom.
Get
Right,
rid
I
of
got
all
you.
that energy, you know, as
Exactly.
children. So I started dancing when I was 3, and all of my teachers from the studio that I was at in Staten Island, Miss
Mhm.
Rosemary's Dance Studio,
Mhm.
which does still exist today,
Okay.
they would try out to be Rockettes.
Okay.
So as I went year after year after year, doing recital after recital, the normal thing was for me to go into that path. So
Okay.
for college, instead of me being a business major, I was a dance major.
Okay.
From being a dance major, I went to being a musical theater major. I graduated. I came back to New York, auditioned, and one day, of course, I saw it in the paper.
Okay.
Radio City Music Hall, looking for dancers to be Rockettes.
Can you give just like a time frame of when you were Rockette year-wise? I mean,
Yes.
how long were you a Rockette?
Yes, I was a Rockette for 8 years.
Okay.
At Radio City Music Hall, 3 years. I did 3 Christmas shows, an Easter show,
Okay.
and then we had a road show
Okay.
called the Great Radio City Spectacular.
Gotcha.
And it toured the United States, and it landed right here in Vegas.
That's right.
At the Flamingo.
That's right.
And I sat here for 5 years and did the show here.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's how you came to Vegas.
That
was
is
because
how
of
I
the
came.
show?
Yes.
Did you ever participate in the Thanksgiving parades when they have the rock?
Absolutely.
You
Yes.
did. How cool was that?
It was very cool. I have to say that people, when you're standing out there at the Thanksgiving Day parade, you're outside. There are no heaters. I loved it because my dad said to me, oh, those heaters right there, when you see the Macy's, that red little thing, there are heaters there. I said, no, Dad, there are not. He said, yes, there are. I said, Daddy, I was there.
That's right. There aren't.
There are no heaters.
The only warmth that they get is with the packed in people when they're standing like this next to each other, right?
Yeah,
The body heat.
packed in. And for us as the Rockettes, we stood right inside the Macy's Day doors
Right.
to the store.
Right.
And we all had our dressers that were there with us. And that's why the Rockettes had those big fur coats, just so you know,
Oh,
because you kept them on. And by the way, they were individually owned, not from Radio City, but you had your coat on. And then when they were ready, you kicked out of the
Just
coat
took right
and
off.
you went right out there. And it was like, oh my God, it is freezing.
Yeah,
So it was.
So I got to ask this: how heavy was the headdresses you guys used to wear
Okay. So here in
on average?
Las Vegas, because of the changeover,
Right.
thank goodness, our headdresses weren't that heavy.
Okay.
Okay. So
But they were big and cumbersome.
they were
at times,
big
right?
and cumbersome,
Okay.
and you definitely wobbled. And my first headdress at Radio City for the Christmas in New York number was a nice, I call it a red dilly.
Okay.
It was similar to this, but it was asymmetric, so it slanted,
Gotcha.
and that was back in '92,
Okay.
where they hadn't changed the materials around. That was probably my heaviest headdress.
Gotcha.
And
Now they're
when-
strapped too, though.
Yes,
You have an invisible
absolutely.
line that's strapped. right?
absolutely strapped, yeah.
Okay.
And that it was made invisible by you just simply using your foundation.
Right. Wow. There you go.
So-
Insider trading information right there, folks.
So yes.
And how many girls are in the line?
In the line at Radio City, it's 36. Here in Vegas, we had 25.
How many hours of practice as a unit did you guys have to put in?
So we did 6 days a week, 10 to 6 rehearsals,
Wow.
plus you had your lunch break,
Right.
and you had 5-minute breaks every 50 minutes
Wow.
or so.
Because I mean, it's listen. When they show it on the parade, and they had the one shot where you're down the line and
Yep.
all you see is the legs.
Yep.
There's not one leg at a tempo.
Nope.
It's like one big leg
Yes.
happening. That's why I mean
Yes.
it's because it takes practice.
The
It takes
longest and the
practice.
oldest standing precision dance group from 1932. Yes.
Wow. So you went 8 years.
Yes.
Any particular reason why you decided to leave? Was it just time for a change?
When
or-
the show closed here in Las Vegas, I had gotten married. I had my son,
Okay.
and I decided I was not going to pound the pavement of New York with a toddler.
Sure.
And so I had bought a home,
Okay.
and Vegas at that point was growing.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
We had begun the process of this growth. Things were very inexpensive, you
Mhm.
know, so you could have a very nice
Yep.
life.
Yeah.
I have a pool in my backyard.
Very important
You
in this
know,
town.
I don't have to deal with snow very often. I
Mhm.
mean, every once in a while we get a trickle of snow.
Just to go like, oh, that's so pretty.
Exactly.
And then that's it. That's all you need.
or drive up to Laurel Canyon, right?
That's right. That's right.
Other
Oh,
than that, though, the sun is shining every day,
right on.
and I can just take a flight and go back.
That's true.
I go
That is
back.
true.
I pretty much go back every Christmas to Rockefeller Center and Radio City just to see the lights, the tree,
Mhm.
to say hello to some of my
Sure,
girlfriends and
sure.
see some of my family.
Right on. Oh, that's so cool. We're going to get ready for an early break, but before we do that, are you running our 2 commercials again, Mr. John? Same 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I didn't do my tagline for the gallery. You failed by not reminding me.
Yes.
So
If they haven't got it by now.
I got to still do it. That's why they
no,
pay me.
Do it twice the next time.
I will.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you have to buy as much. Just anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw a couple of my silly questions at this point.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. Who's your favorite actor of all time?
Oh my gosh, actor of all time. That's a bad question for me.
Oh, do you not watch movies?
I do, but typically I like Dustin Hoffman.
Okay.
Let's leave it right there
Oh,
for
that's
now.
fine.
And I'll think of
Favorite
another.
actress?
Favorite actress. You know what? I love Susan Sarandon.
Oh, yeah. She's good.
Glenn Close
Mhm.
and
Cut from the same style of
yes,
acting, those
yes.
two. Favorite all-time movie, so that when it's on your TV,
Mhm.
you pop your popcorn, you grab your favorite adult beverage, you grab your husband, kids, whoever. You don't want to be bothered by a phone call. You shut the world off to watch a movie, which is called
gosh.
what?
August Rush.
Love it. I did not know until about 2 years ago that the actor in August Rush is the good doctor on the ABC medical show. I did
Yes.
not know that.
Yes.
I was so like crazy, but I love that movie. That was
This-
so good.
I mean, there are a lot of good movies out. I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
and you know, I could say Figures, which just
Yes.
with Taraji.
Mhm.
There's just so much, but August Rush, it made me weep.
Oh, that music and his story in the
Yeah.
background, and what a prodigy he was in
Yes.
that movie. And then, like I said, to find out he played the good doctor on ABC, man. All right, we're gonna step aside for our second break a tad early. But before we go to break, pay attention to Desert Valley Gallery, because if you spend your first ever $150 there, mention Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips, Thoughts Count Anywhere, The Round Table, John Stiles. Well, if you mention his name, they'll probably double the price and then give you 50%.
That's what they said. Yeah,
Right?
Don't send
make
anybody in here.
Right, exactly. Anyway, go in, spend $150. Are located in Tivoli Village, right at the Ballet Circle. You will then enter into a drawing for a ticket for two tickets to their monthly cabaret show. It's an $80 value. That's all you got to do. Spend $150, get a free show for $80. It's well worth it. On that, I have to say it again to make it up after the commercial runs because I didn't do it the first time. So, Aaron's Hour, we'll be right back.
How unique.
It's gorgeous.
You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've gotta have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
Most business owners struggle with the following issue. How do I brand my business to get noticed? Double 8 Design Studio helps businesses by designing brands that boost confidence, look and feel timeless, stand out from the competition, and attract all the right clients. Whether you are in need of a new brand, upgraded design elements, or completely redesign your current brand, Double 8 Design Studio has fully customized packages for your business. Call Chelsea McKendrick at 702-525-3334 and visit www.double8designstudio.com. Let Double 8 Design Studio give you a brand new outlook for your business. That's last week's show.
Okay.
Hi, welcome back. I'm giving telephone lessons here during the break. It's okay. It's because it helps sharpen my skill. I am here with Queen MarQue Munday, like the day, right?
Yes, but spelled with a U.
I wrote that phonetically, but I still always ask. And then when John told me your name, I'm like, MarQue, or is it Markey? He goes, oh, it's MarQue. I said, oh, like the big signs?
That's
Yeah, that's
correct.
right. Okay, so I wrote it that way too. Okay. I'm a very important phonetic speller, so I make sure I try to get names right.
Yeah, because he doesn't know how to spell.
No, it's true. When you're with elementary kids, all you deal with is phonetics. Anyway, okay. So you have something here that I know John, I think, has a picture of it as well. Talk about what you have here coming up. You have some events, please.
Okay. So I work with Juneteenth, Nevada, Miss Juneteenth, Nevada specifically, and we do have our annual pageant that will happen, and that's going to be on June 1st, 2024. So right now, immediately on the screen, you're going to see our holiday soiree, which is next Saturday, December 16th. So there's two things that are happening. One is we're looking for our delegates for our next year's pageant, and we'd love for you to come out and celebrate with us next Saturday from 6 to 9, our holiday soiree. And that's going to be on Tropicana, 1375 East Tropicana. The name of the place, it's really funny. It's Mountain West Eatery Tropicana. Mountain West.
Not to be confused with
Eatery
Mountain West
Tropicana.
Hospital. We want to make that
On
distinction.
the east side.
On the east side.
On the east side,
But
exactly.
Don't try to take Tropicana
They're
and make
moving on up.
Right.
may not be open by the time Tropicana's done, but
So
the road that is.
yeah, we encourage you to please come out. Bring your children. Come on out. It's a worthy cause. You're going to make a donation, obviously, to Juneteenth
Mhm.
as well. If you bring a gift, we can add that to our raffle. We do ask, like a kids drive,
Sure.
and we'll have a raffle table, and we will have what we're calling our soiree bazaar. So if you haven't gotten all your shopping done, you'll be able to go and check out some of the great things that we'll have there.
Well, you said bizarre. John will be there.
There you go.
Right?
Thank you, John.
Bizarre?
Bizarre.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
That's what I mean.
I'm there.
Bizarre. He's there. Anything that's bizarre, he's always there.
Oh my
No, that's
gosh.
great. Give the dates again for that, if you don't mind.
Okay, so December 16th, which is next Saturday from 6 to 9, it's our holiday soiree for Juneteenth.
What's attire? Dress attire?
Dress
anything?
attire, we want you dressed to the nines. So come in all your glam and garb. Show up. How about that?
There you go.
And then June 1st, let's get our delegates for our Miss Juneteenth Nevada Scholarship Program pageant. That's going to happen in June. We need you to sign up. So you can go to our website, www.missjuneteenthnevada.org. It is a great clickable site. So just go on and you can click, you can register, you can donate, you can see what's happening, you can see the past gallery, you can see our queen.
Are you accepting applications now?
Absolutely. Applications are online. and
John,
you
don't
can do
submit
those.
yours. You don't qualify.
I know I'm too old.
And if you guys don't know her, Eddie Niall Pitts is our current Miss Juneteenth Nevada. That's Eddie Niall Pitts, and we're so excited for her. She's going to go off to Clark Atlanta University
Nice.
in the spring.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. I love that. I love this stuff. I think it's just so great. It's empowering. And not only obviously for the kids, obviously that's the important goal.
Mhm.
Okay. But for the parents that support their kids, it's empowering for them to see their kids
Absolutely.
perform on their own and grow and see
Yes.
them grow.
Yes.
And for those behind the scenes, putting this type of show on for a child, for an applicant, I shouldn't
Yes.
say a child, who maybe at 14 starts and then they come back because maybe they didn't
right.
finish where they want to, and
Right.
you see their progression.
Their progression.
I think it's absolutely wonderful because they themselves can see their own progression
Yes.
as
So
they get older.
our applicants, we call them delegates.
Yes.
Yeah.
There
So
you go.
come on out, be a delegate.
And all the requirements are on the site and everything.
All the
for
requirements
that.
are on the
Did
site.
you get the website, John?
No.
MissJuneteenthNevada.org.
Miss Juneteenth, Nevada. Good. Put it up on the crawl, would you? Not that anybody who's listening to us on the app can read it, but they can go back to the video later on.
Aaron, by the way,
Yes.
when I was coming up with the Rockettes, we used to do something called Read Across America.
Okay.
And being in a pageant system, you always do have outreaches that you do to give back to the community.
Sure.
So you said you were at a school.
Mhm.
I'd love to come and read to the children.
Excellent. We can set that up. Plus, my wife's an administrator at another elementary school. She's an AP. So I
Aha.
could give you another site possibly. So yes, before you leave, you'll have my card with all my contact. We'll make it happen. Love that idea.
Yes.
And with that, might possibly even then invite you back to talk about all that again on one of my other shows, The
Love that.
Roundtable, which is more of a think of The View. Only
Yes.
my co-host and I, we actually like each other.
Oh.
Well, I'll just leave that out there.
You don't say.
Sometimes. Well, on the air, you'd never believe it sometimes, but no, seriously. Yeah, I'd love to have you on there. We'll set that up as well, but I'd be more than
Yeah,
happy to
That
do
would
that.
be great.
Okay. So, John,
Yeah, since we're talking about it and you're gonna be raffling stuff off,
Yes.
I'll give you a certificate for either 1 hour of studio time here or a 30-second commercial that we could do for a business or something like that.
I love it.
and I'll even double that because I do voiceovers and stuff for all the commercials.
Yes.
So if you guys do that, then I will
Yes.
lend my voice to it at no charge as well.
For
So
the commercial, right?
for the commercial, how's
Yeah.
that?
'Tis the season of giving, everyone.
That's right. Now get back. Doggone it. No, seriously, if something like
Thank
that
you.
works, then I will be more than happy to lend my voice and script writing, whatever we could do to help
Thank
with
you.
that as well.
Much
So,
appreciated.
excellent.
Yes.
Okay, so now it's time to go back to some crazy questions. What's your favorite holiday movie?
Holiday movie.
Like at this time of year,
You know what? I like Christmas on 34th Street.
the original
Miracle.
Miracle.
The-
Well, of course,
yes.
you'd like the original because of
Yes.
Macy's and everything.
Yes, absolutely.
I found on TV this morning while I was getting ready to come to the studio that they remade that movie in the
Yes, they did.
2000s.
Yes, they
So
did.
I caught a piece of that.
Stop.
But what? That's not how to talk about a holiday movie. But I will share with you because in my hand, I have the top 20 movies of this person's opinion, at least.
Okay.
And where did it go? It was on the list. I know it's on here because I read it the other night. Miracle on 34th Street was number 15 on this list of 20.
Okay.
So as long as we're talking about it, what a great segue. Thank you for leading me down this road. Number 20 was The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Okay.
Okay.
I know.
Now,
it. I
now
like
some
that
of
one
these
too.
movies, and we talked about this the other night, they're considered holiday movies only because the theme of the movie was around holiday time.
Mhm.
And there'll be a couple that are obvious about that. Like my next one, Gremlins was number 19. Remember Gremlins?
Yes, I do.
Right? Gizmo and Mountain Dew and all
Don't
that.
beat 'em after dark.
Yeah, I mean, was it really a Christmas movie? It was a movie around getting a gift at holiday time.
Right.
But number 18, I think, was a classic comedy one, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. The Griswolds go visit his brother-in-law, brother-in-law, Randy Quaid. And that was a
Hamburger helper.
Right.
I think it doesn't need any help.
That's
It's good all by itself.
one of the offshoots of A Christmas Carol, which of course was a classic, of course, was Scrooged from 1988 with Bill Murray.
Love that.
Love that. I can watch that again.
Yeah.
Here's the biggest one that's always open for debate: Die Hard.
Okay.
People question that was with Bruce Willis
Yeah.
and terrorists and
Yeah.
booming. People always question. It's one of those movies that again centers around Christmas time,
Right.
but that's I think the one that's always debated. Miracle on 34th Street.
Yes.
19, well, here's what year was that originally made? I gave it partially away, obviously 19 something. What year did that debut? Do you know? You're a movie buff.
Sorry, which one?
The original Miracle on 34th
Was
Street.
it
41, 42, or 47?
It's not a multiple choice question, John.
Oh,
Okay, well,
Pick one of those because one of those is correct.
I know, 41.
No, 47.
7.
I should remember
You,
that.
sh- you forgot you remembered it, right?
That's the year I was born.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, I have so many lines I could throw into that right now. White Christmas was the next one on list.
Nice.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes, we did have electricity.
That's because you fed the gerbils enough, right? Here's one also. I think I love this movie. It's funny as all get out. One of Eddie Murphy's original comedy movies, but it's a movie that sort of was based around the holiday time, but yet had some holiday in it. Trading Places.
Yes. Okay.
Love that movie. Classic movie about role reversal and it's simple, like what's it, My Fair Lady style, like for $1, I can
Right,
bet you
right.
change this person. I loved it. It's around the holiday time. I love it. I think it's a great holiday movie, if you ask me.
You know, he has something new coming out.
I do. The Candy
The
Cane
Candy
something or other, right?
Yes. Yes.
Another holiday
I
movie.
think
Yes.
it's on Netflix.
Yes. I
Yes.
think so.
Yeah.
That is true. Home Alone, 1990. Again, another one of those movies. Family goes away for the holidays, and this poor kid, which actually they reunited. Why am I blanking on his name? I know I've got it in here. Where is it? Macaulay Culkin and the lady who played the mom.
Okay.
Recently, there was a picture popped up on social media,
Right.
them in the movie, and then recent. But the mom now is in a commercial.
Oh.
I want to say
With Kevin Hart.
with Kevin Hart, one of these.
She's going all over the store.
Kevin, and then she finds clothes, everything. Kevin, where are you? And then there's Kevin Hart carrying a gingerbread house.
Oh, wow.
I'm right here, So I love that little twist to it. Of course, another classic, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, dating
Yes,
back. I know it's
absolutely.
59 years old because it was debuted the year I was born. So
Oh, there
take
we
that
go.
for what it's worth. A Year Without a Santa Claus in 74 is number 9. The Muppet Christmas Carol. Okay,
One of the best.
one of the best. Bad Santa.
I love Bad Santa.
Oh boy, no surprise. Bizarre. Remember the word bizarre?
Yes,
There's
there
it
we
is, right
go.
there. Love Actually, which is what we talked about. I'd never heard of this movie. Number 6 on the
You have
list.
never seen that?
No, not until I saw it on the
Dude,
list.
you got to go home and watch that.
Oh,
That was-
I'll add it to my
that
list.
was a
What is it?
absolutely beautiful movie.
It's a roundelay of lump in your throat London love during the holiday season from the confectioners behind 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
It was brilliant.
And Notting Hill. You could fill a stocking with all the terrific moments in the film, but none other is better than when a group of kids brings down the house with their rendition of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Okay.
It was I'm serious. If you have not seen the movie, do yourself a favor and watch it. You can find it.
Can I wait till after Hanukkah's over to watch it?
I don't care.
Okay.
And the name of the movie was
Love Actually.
Love
It seems-
Actually.
It's like that sentence is not complete. There should be something else after the word
Right,
actually. right?
exactly.
Love
Right.
Actually is
Thompson.
great. What?
It's
Oh,
got Emma Thompson. It's got Liam Neeson.
that's way more information I care to know.
Yeah.
Number 5. The original How the
Claudia
Gr-
Schiffer.
Ralph Nader was in that one. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original one from Dr. Seuss, not the Jim Carrey ones, although it was good. Elf was another classic with Will Ferrell. Here's one. A Charlie Brown Christmas was number 3.
Oh.
A Christmas Story. More kids tried sticking their tongues to metal poles after that movie than anything else, right?
Yeah.
And then actually, a movie that is number 1, I think, for everybody, except for me, only because I've never seen this movie from beginning to end. Now, I see bits and pieces when I channel surf. It's a Wonderful Life. It's number
Oh,
1.
yes.
What the hell's the matter with you?
I'm Jewish. What do I know from that
Oh,
movie?
yeah, that's right. You don't care.
Yes.
I'm a subscriber to Sirius XM, and they have all the holiday channels at this time. And so I was flipping around, and all of a sudden I get an advertisement, and I was floored. It's a good thing I was in my car at a stop sign because otherwise I would have driven off the road. There's actually a channel on there for Hanukkah, channel 683 for anybody that
There
cares.
you go.
And so I was on my way to dinner Thursday night for the first night of Hanukkah to my dad's place. And that's when I found the channel. And I walked in and saying, did you guys realize that there was enough Hanukkah songs that there's a channel devoted to Hanukkah? Now, most of them
Wait,
are,
is Adam Sandler on that?
yes. And I was telling the guys, so I leave my house this morning and I pop that channel on. It's in my favorites. And I did a double take because the song I turned on to was Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song, but the second one, not the original, but it's the second one.
Right.
Are you familiar with his songs that he does with naming
On
all the
Saturday Night Live.
for all
Oh
the
my
he names all the entertainers that are Jewish that people don't realize that they celebrate.
Right.
He throws in a couple that you think would be, but they're not. So number 2 came on, and then some parody. Of course, a lot of the songs that you hear for Hanukkah are parodies, and I hate to use that word, but they use like White Christmas as an example. Somebody will take that theme and turn that into a Hanukkah song,
Sure.
but they use it as the music, right? So yeah, I was so surprised. 683, and it's not the same song played over and over and over. But then again, how often do you want to hear I'm dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay? There's only so many versions you want to hear of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, I'm so proud of the fact that there's a channel that has that on there, because you can hardly find a candle in any store in this town about Hanukkah. You just can't.
No.
Anyway, I digress because I usually do anyway. All right, we have about 5 minutes left. So I want to come back to you. I want you to take the last couple of minutes before and then I do have 1 or 2 real quick serious questions that I ask in my kerfuffle stuff. Talk last couple of minutes, take whatever you want. Let's reshare anything that you'd like to again, and information, dates, whatever you'd like.
Okay, well, again, I want to encourage our ladies out there, moms, sisters, cousins, friends. If you're over the age of 30 and you have not been in a pageant, or maybe you did a pageant when you were younger, come join us at classicuniverse.org. We do our pageant annually. It is going to be in July right here in Las Vegas at the New Orleans. You can reach out to Linda Samuels and let her know that MarQue Munday gave you the information. Get into a sisterhood. Have your sisters empower you to reach the goals, dreams, aspirations, and desires that you've left on the back burner or you felt you couldn't do anymore. It's not too late. Age is a wisdom number. It's a wisdom time. And the fact that you're still here, you have something to share. Then let's give back to our younger ladies, ages 14 to 19, in our Juneteenth. Okay, that's Miss Juneteenth Scholarship Program pageant. I could use all the hands out there, ladies, gentlemen. All the hands get on deck so we can give back to our younger community and teach them the history of Juneteenth from 1863 all the way up to now. It also lets them know how they can be an active part of their community and society as they're growing. We teach how to look for our scholarships and grants, as well as entrepreneurial skills, because let's put it out there, right? We're from the East Coast.
Absolutely.
You got to have a hustle. We're all
It's not
doing
what you know,
something.
it's who you know. And sometimes you got to hustle to find who you know.
Right. And it's the networking.
Absolutely.
Networking. So, and I want to thank John and I want to thank Erin.
Thank
you
you.
so much for giving me this time to talk about this stuff.
Anytime.
My name is MarQue Munday. I have books out on Amazon. So I was a Rockette. It's called Kicking the Odds. Gives you all the information of how to persevere so that you can reach your goals, dreams, aspirations, and desires.
Absolutely.
And my brand is Discover and Live Your Dream Life. I have a book called 7 Steps to Discovering and Living Your Dream Life. And I do a coaching program to help you get there. So just to throw it out there, we got to stay positive. We got to stay motivated, and we've got to stay giving and helping other people. So when I help you, you help others, we all get to the end point and we make
Absolutely.
this world a better place.
Absolutely. So my question to you has nothing to do with the other questions. Why are you not doing a show on WWDBTV with all of that?
We have, John and I we have done a show, and looking at helping, John, you helping me to bring that back. Time is always
Of course.
issue and essence.
I'm also a producer behind the scenes. So if you need help with all of that,
I'd love that. I'd love that.
Because I think, first of all, as I'm sitting, I have goosebumps when MarQue talks because of her energy and how you are sharing your passion for
And
others.
she's being very low key.
Listen, if you're
She
a rock,
toned it down for you.
if you're a Rockette, I know you have energy. That's for sure. And in this show, the next time you come back, don't hold back. On
Okay.
me, all right.
All
Promise. No, but seriously, I mean, I like to feel that I'm a relatively good judge of people, although there have been some people that I question why I even knew them. However, with your energy and your knowledge and your passion for even just communication, it's very obvious as to why you have won a crown and can present. But your information and knowledge to share with any audience is paramount. And to the length that John has grown this station, that the millions of people that watch all the different shows on YouTube and everything else,
Don't forget Roku.
and Roku, but as soon as you give me numbers, then I'll be able to justify it.
First of the year.
I'm only kidding. Yeah, Roku enough should sell people on why they should be doing things here
Okay.
to be part of an international streaming service. But I would say, and I say this sort of very biasly, because I met her an hour ago, folks. No backstory, no nothing. But we would be doing any community a disservice if you were not on a microphone sharing your knowledge and passion for people and how to succeed. We'd be doing even if you only reach one young person with your one. That's all we need is it starts with one before you get 2 and 10 and everything else. So anyway, with that, real quickly, because I know the time is running out, here's your last couple of questions. Number 1, who's your favorite superhero, Batman or Superman? And your answer is very important as to whether you're going to be an invited guest back. Look at my phone, please. Look at the back of my phone if you need a suggestion. But I want you to answer this question honestly.
Well, that's okay. So that's a double-edged sword. Obviously, I'm supposed to say Batman.
Yes, that's all
Yay!
I care about. Anything? No, seriously, who is your favorite?
Superman, and it's because he's from Cleveland for whatever reason.
George Reeves is from Cleveland?
Superman.
Oh.
Superman.
Really?
The
yes, original?
The original.
I did not know that.
And I'm not talking about the person. I'm talking about the character.
No, I
Yeah,
understand.
okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so
Cleveland. Why
it's
Cleveland?
really funny because when I fly there, I get to see this big whole.
Do they really? They have
a whole thing right in the airport.
Do they have
so
a
it's really
Superman
cool.
museum out there?
They do.
In the future, when a movie's made about your life, who'd you like to see play you?
Wow.
Listen, I answered a tough question. Geraldo Rivera should take a lesson from me on how to ask tough questions.
Oh gosh. I mean, okay, so this is really crazy because all of the young actresses that I remember growing up, they can't play me. They'd be too old, but you know what I mean? In that
But
sense.
that's okay.
But-
I want you to pick anybody.
Wow.
CGI is a wonderful thing. Who would you want to? I could see one. One comes to mind for me. I want to see if you come up with it. I won't say it.
I probably won't come up with it because I'm thinking of somebody local right here in Vegas, and her name is Teshi Thomas. She was one of my students when she was 3. She left me. She went on to Broadway. She has done stuff with Oprah. She has been on the silver screen, and she lives right here in Las Vegas. So I'm shouting her out. Yes, she was. Yes.
Well, that's not who I thought of.
Who did you think of? Yay! Come on.
Cicely Tyson.
Oh wow. Okay, so you were saying in the
anybody. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah, anybody. But that's who I was saying. But that's okay. That's all right. But you're it.
Yeah.
Listen, supporting somebody local,
Mhm.
never an issue.
No.
Last but not least, when the day comes, many years from now, you are at the pearly gates and the maitre d' is there to welcome you into the restaurant.
Yes.
What is it you'd like to hear from him or her say before you walk through?
Well done, my good and faithful servant.
Can't ask for anything better than that. Thank you so much for coming in. It's been a blast.
Thank you.
I look forward to having you back on again. Oh, your hands are nice and warm.
Oh, thank you.
With that, everybody, just a reminder, next week's show is going to be my last show of 2023 before I take 2 weeks off. So my guest next week, Casadano, who you met with me, who was on with me for Halloween, we're going to talk about some Christmas myths and bust them or not or believe them. Who knows? We're going to have some fun next week, and then we're going to celebrate the holidays for the next 2 weeks before I'm back with fresh shows. 2024, January 6th, I believe, is that first Saturday. Anyway, thank you for watching. As always, be kind to everybody. Why? We're all we have. We'll see you next time right here on Aaron's Hour. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Can I sing out?
Go sing out. No, don't play music. She's going to sing us out. Go. Hit it.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by the choir. And folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe will help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase for kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holiday.
See ya.